Assalamualaikum. My name is Wan Amir Hasif bin Wan Naziruddin. My metric number is 265815. I am a student from Group N, Bpmn 3123, Management Ethics. So I have been assigned to do an individual essay. So I have chosen a topic of workplace bullying. So without further ado, I would like to give a brief on the topic itself. Um, so workplace bullying is kind of linked with ethical issues. So ethical issues usually are linked with problems in day-to-day work, such as environment of work, job scope, and the relationships within the worker itself. Usually, people who are creating ethical issues in their work, such as disciplinary problems, are those who are not motivated and not enjoying their work, or maybe they felt that the heavy work burden starts to cause them to think in a messy way. In other words, it is all about their morals. On the other hand, it is great if the upper line, such as manager and boss, shows ethics of care rather than appealing to ethical justice. This is because ethics of care give more on support, love, and also care, um, that the workers will feel that their work area is same with their home, so they will be more happy, they will be more productive in their work. If we focus on ethical justice, it is more on the legislative unit of the work. So I think by giving or showing ethics of care, it is good for the manager and also the workers, because the relationship will be bonded more than before. Okay, next is the literature review. Okay, so I will talk about the literature review of my topic. So, what is workplace bullying? Workplace bullying is a behavior of mistreatment from a staff to another staff in the work area. Next, workplace bullying can be started from the upper line, which is manager, senior, um, boss, and also others. They could give this mistreatment from the upper line to the downline workers, such as the general workers. There are a lot of bullying behavior that can be identified at a certain workplace. So I will be discussing about that. For example, in the slide here, a worker being requested to work overtime without pay, being forced to do work outside of the job scope, being making fun of, and being taken advantage of. This bully majority come from higher position staffs, such that I have said before, which is the upper line. And they can be called as perpetrators, which includes employer, manager, senior, and supervisor, where they have bigger position and bigger role in the company. So they have more power in the company, in other words. Okay, next. Okay, in the slide here, we're gonna talk about the discussion of our topic. It is the main focus of our topic. Okay, there are three segmentation of discussion that I have identified. So the first is the cause of workplace bullying. Second is categories of bullies, and the third is effects of workplace bullying. Okay, so we're gonna peel one by one. Okay, let's go. Okay, based on the slide here, the cause of workplace bullying. Number one is the position level in the company of the bully target or the victims. Workers who has lower income or subordinates usually gets bullied by higher level staffs in the work hierarchy, such as managers, supervisors, and seniors. Um, the inability of perpetrators to experience shame or guilt following oppressive acts of workplace bullying are seen as contributing to a wide range of organizational malfeasance. Um, the second point of cause of workplace bullying is the mental state of the victims itself. So the bullied recognized as having low self-esteem, no self-confidence, anxiety, and so on. Subordinates that have low personality tends to get easily bullied, and this is why it opens up the space for the bully to treat them in a harsh way. So in the point given, it is stated that um, if the if the subordinate is weak, they are tend to be more of a clear target than those subordinates who are normal. So by knowing that the mental state of the victims, it is clear that the bully loves to target the victims who are weaker than them. Okay, so we go to the next part of discussion, with which is categories of bullies. There are 4 categories of bullies that I have clarified. So the first is the screaming mimi. Number 2 is the constant critic. Number 3 is the two-headed snake, and number 4 is the gatekeeper. Okay, this is a brief of the 4 type of bullies that I have said before. So based on the slide here, the screaming mimi is the type that always shouts, always screams, yells, and throwing objects. It is a character of aggressive anger and abuse that makes a lot of subordinates to start feel hate towards their job because of their aggressive upline. This screaming mimi always give pressure and intensity to their employees and will make the employees to feel mentally exhausted, because every time they come to work there will always be yelling and screaming. There is like no peace in their work. Okay, the second type is the constant critic. The constant critic presses on mental or psychological distress, where the bullies always let the victim or the target to feel unmotivated and worthless with their critics. They insult the victim by giving bad comments on their work and always lecturing them like they are just like little kids. I think that's not good. They also give constant critique. Giving constant critique shows that the upper line management is not having two-way communication with their subordinates, because they do not tend to hear what their employees have to say and what are their employees have in mind. So not having two-way communication is a bad thing for a company. Okay, we go to the third type of bullies. Number third is the two-headed snake. The two-headed snake not just abusing the target bully, but they also manipulate people who are under them. The doers come from the upper line of management. They talk bad things behind the victim, spreading fake rumors about them, and also giving meaningless tasks to them. It also involves the target's workmate by manipulating them into thinking that the victims is a bad influence. So the upper line doesn't want the victim's workmate to be near them. Yes, they want to isolate the victim with other workers. I think that is not professional and not mature. So the last category of bullies is the gatekeeper. This type of character is obsessed with control. They will punish the employees by giving them the silent treatment. They also tend to make or cause failures for other employees. Okay, moving on to the last part of our discussion, which is the effects of workplace bullying. Okay, based on the PowerPoint slide below, there are three effects of workplace bullying that I have identified. Number one is distress level on the victims that will lead to depression. Number two, existence of a negative environment. Number three, drop on company's performance. So I will go one by one on this point. Okay, number one, distress level on the victim that will lead to depression. Bullying will make the victims feel distress and instant pressure. They have to work in a high pressure condition, which will exhaust their physical and emotion and mental. Bullying behavior will make things worse for the victims who already had anxiety and low self-esteem. For those who already had these problems, they might be leading to depression, or they act they do some acts that will harm themselves. Okay, second effect is existence of a negative environment. The victims will not have a happy mood to come to work because of the damage from bullying that had been done to them. The workers will tend to quit out of the job because they do not have the endurance anymore to face the bad environment that had been taking their work satisfaction for a while. So if we go to work like not in a happy mood, we do that work day by day. That is not really enjoying. That is not really a satisfaction. We want to come to work in a happy face, in a happy mood, so that we could deliver the best of ourselves in that job scope. So through the effect of bullying, yeah, the workers will not feel happy to come to work day by day. Okay, the last effect of workplace bullying is drop on company's performance. The company's productivity and performance will have a clear drop. The human resource work rate will have low productivity, linked with the effect of bullying. Without having a motivated, dissatisfied, and unhappy workers, there will be drops on the company's performance. Okay, so I'm gonna close our discussion with the conclusion. In conclusion, workplace bullying is a mentally and physically bad behavior to be concerned in the organizations of work. This disgraceful act should be stopped from spreading in the company because it could give negative impacts towards the whole company, not just for the workers, but throughout the whole company. It will give negative effects. In other words, it is important to make the employees happy, motivated, and satisfied with their